Today is a tutorial using some of the pieces from MAC's holiday line. The look that I'm wearing right now is using some of the pressed pigments from the Heirloom Mixed collection. It's using a blush from that, and then it's using pigments from one of the objects of affection. I keep forgetting what it's called. If you are curious about what I have from the MAC holiday collections, links below to see that, and then on my blog and all of that beautifulness. And I hope you like it. We're starting off this look using Too Faced Shadow Insurance as an eyeshadow base all over the lid, and then I'm going to be using one of the pressed pigments from this collection called Enchantment as my main eyeshadow color, and I'm using it wet. So I'm using MAC Mixing Medium, doing a drop into the eyeshadow and then mixing it with my brush and then applying it, and this will just make it so that the shimmer in it really stands out and looks awesome. I'm applying this just up to the crease, kind of blending it out so that there's no harsh lines, and using it wet like this is a really neat way to use pressed pigment since you can't really use regular eyeshadow wet like the way you can with a pressed pigment. Next, we're taking the Golden Beige Pigments and Glitter set from the Objects of Affection collection, and we're using two of the pigments here. The first pigment I'm using is called Lithe, and it's a peachy nude shimmer, and this is going on the crease and then up to the brow bone, just blending it out. The next pigment I'm using is called Deep Brown, and it's a matte chocolate brown, and this is going into the crease with a blending brush just along the edges of Enchantment to kind of blend it out and make it look a little bit smoky. So patting it onto the outer corners and then just blending it inwards and outwards and blending it into Lithe so that everything is really nice and soft. And because pigments are a loose powder, it's pretty easy to kind of make a mess like I did. So all you need to do is just take a clean brush and even a little bit of face powder just over where you've made a mess, and then it should go away really easy. Next, I'm taking my pressed pigment in Nostalgic and using a blending brush to apply it to the inner corners and the inner crease area, just blending it upwards like that. And once we've done that, we're going to make the look even more smoky by taking Feline Eye Kohl and lining the upper lash line, and then taking a pencil brush and just blending it out so that it's nice and smoky and soft. I'm going to do that on the other eye as well. And then for my lower lash line, I'm going to use another one of my pigments from the pigment set. This is Pretty It Up, and I'm using this wet underneath my lower lash line because it's going to look super shimmery and beautiful. Using a clean brush just to make sure that everything looks nice, and then I'm going to take Feline again and line my waterline. And then I'm applying my mascara, which for this look is Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara, just applying it to the upper and lower lashes, and I did curl my lashes with a lash curler before doing this. Alright, eyes are done. Moving on to the cheeks, we're going to use the mineralized blush in Modest Blush from the Heirloom Mixed collection. I really love this blush on my skin tone. I think it's really pretty. And then we're going to use the ambient lighting powder from Hourglass as a highlight. For my lips, I'm using the Pink and Plum lip gloss set from Objects of Affection. I'm using two of the colors here. The first one is Fashion Scoop, which is Creme Sheen Gloss, and then I'm going to take Rags to Riches, which is a Dazzle Glass, just on top to make it look nice and sparkly. And there's the look. I hope you like it, and make sure to check out my reviews if you're interested in these collections. See you later.